Hello everyone, and thank you very much for joining us for this webinar session on our Economics and Finance programme. My name is Tara Walsh and I work here at the UCD Lochlann Quinn School of Business, and this evening we're going to be telling you more about our Economics and Finance programme. I'll be joined this evening by Claude Nash, who is a third-year Economics and Finance student, and she's currently completing her internship. And she'll share with you her experience of being a student here in UCD. So the format of this evening's webinar is that I go through an overview of the Economics and Finance programme, and then Claude will speak about her student experience, and it will be followed by time for a questions and answers session afterwards. You can use the chat box to type your questions, and we'd ask that you keep those to the end and we can address them all at that stage. So I will switch over to my presentation now and share with you some more information about UCD and the Economics and Finance programme. So UCD, or University College Dublin, was first established in 1854 and is the largest university in Ireland, both in terms of the campus size and the number of students enrolled on our programmes. We have over 30,000 students registered to programmes across our campuses from Ireland and also from across the globe. UCD is home to over 7,000 international students from 138 countries, and UCD places a great emphasis on the internationalisation of the Irish student experience and has partner agreements with universities worldwide, opening up pathways for students to study abroad during their time at UCD. The disciplines offered at UCD range from business to law, arts and humanities, social sciences, engineering, architecture, a broad range of sciences, and a spectrum of health, human, animal, and agricultural sciences. UCD is ranked within the top 1% of universities worldwide by the QS World University Rankings. And this is important because it is a testament to the quality of education that students receive, as well as the opportunities that are open to them during the course of their studies, and the measure of quality of their degree upon graduation. Which leads me on to the Quinn School of Business, which is too highly ranked internationally and is the only triple accredited business school in Ireland, and one of just 70 worldwide which hold this triple crown of accreditations. Quinn is the foremost undergraduate business school in Ireland, and we can say that because of our accreditations or rankings, which are internationally recognised. And again, what this means is that Quinn lends itself well to a prestigious network of leading business schools internationally, meaning the very best of opportunities for exchange, employment, and other opportunities for our students and graduates. There's a long and proud tradition of offering business degree programs since the Quinn School was established in 1908, and we're constantly evolving the methods of how we teach our students and encouraging new forms of learning in a collaborative and forward-thinking manner. Here are some more facts and figures about the Quinn School of Business and its students. We have over 2,200 students with us here in Quinn, which combines full and part-time students, and also those studying here on a semester or year abroad. We have students from across the globe who make up about 10% of our overall student population on our 4 full-time undergraduate degree programs. We're lucky here in Quinn, in the Quinn building, to have lots of study-specific facilities open to our students, which includes classrooms and lecture halls, open-air study spaces, media suites, an entrepreneurship hub, a collaborative learning space, and a data analytics lab. So if you're following us on screen, take a look at the icon in the top right corner to see these facilities listed. The facilities allow for our students to work collaboratively, innovatively, and in a smarter way for the way that learning has evolved. We'll also be extending our facilities and have a new development scheduled to open in 2019, which I'll talk more about shortly. One particular facility that's utilised by the economics and finance students is the data analytics lab, which contains Bloomberg terminals. A Bloomberg terminal is a computer system that allows investors, or in this case, students, to access the Bloomberg data service, which provides real-time financial data, news feeds, messages, and also facilitates the placement of financial transactions. The terminals will help students to analyze a large amount of complex data to get an insight into businesses, and will give information on commodities and equities being traded around the world. The Data Analytics Lab allows students to do very sophisticated quantitative analysis within the Bloomberg system by having access to very large amounts of data and the tools to complete that analysis. It's an exciting technology to put to use during your studies, and one which you can apply in your future business career. You'll have an immediate advantage in the world of work if you have a thorough understanding of the power of analytics and a working understanding of the tools that are used in businesses, such as the Bloomberg terminals, which will make you productive from the first day you start in a new career. So all in all, it's a fantastic facility to have access to. In the bottom right of the screen, you will see a chart depicting the career progression of graduates from our 4 full-time undergraduate degree programs. Our graduates are highly sought after, and over 2/3 go directly into employment. I'll spend time discussing the specific career pathways of economics and finance students a little later in the presentation. So we have an exciting project on the way in the form of new infrastructure, or a new wing to our existing building, which will be open to all students beginning their studies with us in September 2019. The new wing will exist alongside the Quinn building on the Belfield campus, and will contain lots of new collaborative spaces for students, which will enable new ways of learning and problem solving. There will be more studios, more technology, makerspace, a new lecture theatre, and many other features. So the new build really shows an investment in the future of business education and in our students, and we're very excited to see it coming together. So hopefully you'll be able to visit us or join us in 2019 to see this new space come to life. At Quinn, what we're trying to develop in our students is the ability to think critically and think for themselves, to form analysis, to simulate new business opportunities, ideas, and technologies, and not just accept things the way they are, but to be able to figure out new ways of doing things for themselves. The type of education students will receive at the Quinn School of Business will provide them with the technical and behavioural skills and knowledge which they need to become future leaders and to succeed in their careers. I think this quote on screen, which is from the director of the Quinn School, Associate Professor Maeve Houlihan, really sums up the characteristics that embody a student or a graduate of our business programs. One such student is Yash Goenka, who you can see on screen now. Yash is a stage 1 or a first year economics and finance student and has travelled from India to study here at UCD. Yash recently won the Entrance Essay Award, where he demonstrated knowledge and passion for the world of business and economics. The Entrance Essay Award is specific to the Quinn School of Business. However, there are a number of scholarships and awards which are open to students successfully accepting a place to study at UCD. So if you're applying to economics and finance in UCD, what are the key points that you need to know? Well, firstly, the economics and finance program is a full-time level 8 honours degree. Economics and finance is a 3-year program and can be extended to 4 years with the inclusion of an optional internship year. A semester of study abroad and the internship program are both options to students studying on the economics and finance program. The entry criteria which is required of candidates applying to economics and finance from Leaving Cert is listed on screen now. So students must study English, Irish, maths, and a 3rd language, and students must achieve a minimum grade of a H4 in maths at Leaving Cert. The 2018 CAO entry points for economics and finance were 589. If you're completing a different set of school leaving exams, such as A-levels or the International Baccalaureate or another, Please feel free to make direct contact with me after the session, and I will seek out the entry recommendations and also the equivalent grades compared with the 2018 CAO entry grades. Before I go directly into the programme information, I'd like to take a minute to discuss the scholarship and awards opportunities available at UCD. Student excellence and achievement are recognised through a wide variety of scholarships and awards. The awards celebrate the achievements of both new and continuing students and are highly regarded by employers. There are many different scholarships and awards which vary from sport, performing arts and academia to global excellence, Irish language, and choral and symphony orchestra scholarships. The benefits range from financial allowances to mentoring, specialist training, and a range of tailored opportunities. On a local level, at the Quinn School of Business, some award and scholarship examples include the Entrance Essay Award for incoming Stage 1 international students, the Business and Society Internship Scholarship for a student who avails of an internship opportunity in the voluntary sector, and the Student of the Year Awards. You'll hear more about the Business and Society Internship Award later, as Clodagh Nash, who joins me for this session, is the 2018 recipient of this award. So I'd encourage you to inform yourself about the scholarship opportunities available at UCD and consider applying. For more information and for a full list of UCD scholarships and awards, visit www.ucd.ie/scholarships. So to the main event, the Economics and Finance programme, or what we call Ec&Fi for short. Economics and Finance is a programme in quantitative business and finance with a strong emphasis in finance. It is both a mathematical and statistical course and is designed for students who are inclined towards the world of finance and have an interest in how markets work. Each year, a class of 60 students enroll on the Economics and Finance programme, where they can expect to develop the ability to analyse and solve complex economical and financial problems. This is a challenging programme where our students are taught in a business-type environment with computers, technology, and other programmes to develop their economic and financial decision-making. Let's take a run-through of the modules you will encounter from year to year. In Stage 1, or first year, the modules which you will encounter are, broadly speaking, set out for you, covering the disciplines of maths, finance, statistics, and economics. During this first year, you will develop your knowledge and understanding of the core principles, concepts, methods, and theories relevant to the study of economics and finance. This will help to bring all of our students to a level playing field in terms of their knowledge, and by the end of Stage 1, all students will have a solid understanding of these theories. You'll also see that in Semester 2 of Stage 1, there's something called a Horizons elective. UCD Horizons is a unique programme at UCD offering students the ability to choose modules outside of their chosen core degree programme. This offers students the ability to shape their own degree and the freedom to broaden their horizons. Typically, students studying economics and finance will have 1 or 2 Horizons electives per year. Teamwork is built into your curriculum, and this is really important for the working world once you graduate and helping you build real-world skills. Outside of the classroom, students can choose to become involved in the work of student clubs and societies and their associated activities, which will also give you the chance to broaden your skill set. Students can expect to be taught through a combination of lectures, case studies, seminars, guest speakers, multimedia presentations, simulations, role play, and more. And then how you're assessed includes everything from essay writing, business and financial reports, group assignments, presentations, debates, quizzes and case analysis, to the traditional end of semester exams. In Stage 2, your modules become much more applied in nature. That is, you will apply the knowledge that you have gained in Stage 1 to practical and important problems faced by businesses and policymakers in a broad range of settings. So, for example, students could be expected to formulate a financial strategy given a certain set of economic conditions or to calculate risks. More probably, they can be expected to provide valuable intelligence to improve economic and financial decision making. It may also be useful to know that you can access more and very specific information about all of the modules offered on degree programs at UCD through the MyUCD website. Simply go to www.myucd.ie and select your program of interest. Once you're on the web page of the program of your choice, scroll to the What Will I Study section and select to view detailed module information. This is really useful for giving you an in-depth insight into exactly what will be covered in the module, as well as the learning outcomes. In semester 2, students have the choice to continue their studies at UCD or opt to take a semester of study abroad on the student exchange program. The semester abroad is optional, and I'll go into that in more detail later in the presentation. In your final year of studies on the Economics and Finance program, students will encounter a mix of core modules, Horizons electives, and the chance to select a specialist stream. The list of core modules on the left of the screen will be taken across semester 1 and 2, with the chance to take one Horizons elective per semester. Each student will choose a stream in which to specialise in, which include economics, finance, or maths and statistics. The stream selected will encompass 4 specialist modules, which you will take alongside your core modules. So let's take a look at the specialist streams and the modules associated. So depending on the stream you wish to select, the emphasis will be on different aspects of economic analysis and quantitative methods needed to support and undertake decision-making in a corporate or policy-making setting. You will see there is some overlap in the modules across the streams. Throughout the first 2 years of their studies, students will have exposure to the different disciplines to be able to make an informed choice when selecting which stream to specialise in. The professors and teaching staff at UCD will also be on hand to offer their support and guidance to students. The Quinn Internship program provides students with a unique opportunity to put theory and skills learned in the classroom into practice during their degree. An internship on the Economics and Finance program is entirely optional and would take place between your penultimate and final year of studies, increasing what is a 3-year degree to 4 years in total. The internship program is university supported, which means that a team of staff manage the relationships between the organisations or employers and the students. Students will receive support and advice from the internship manager and the team here in UCD, their academic coordinator, and also the UCD Career Development Centre in the lead up to the application process and throughout the course of the internship. Year on year, there's a number of organisations who are willing to take on our students on a 9 to 12 month internship basis. The internships are fully paid to help cover the cost of students' expenses. Students are registered to UCD for the year and will complete a monthly report of their learning, as well as a final major project on their time spent on internship. Placement on the program is competitive and only the highest performing students are selected. So all students are encouraged to put their best foot forward. We partner with a range of companies from multinational professional services to SMEs, voluntary organisations and startups. Our partners recognise the high calibre of students coming from the Quinn School and see student interns as a valuable addition to their workforce. The logos you see on screen now are a sample of the organisations and companies who are providing internships for our current Stage 3 Economics and Finance and our Bachelor of Commerce students. These organisations and companies, their core business would include global investments, asset management and financial services, audit, tax and accounting, advisory, broking and solutions, fund administration, consulting, trading, quantitative research, banking, technology, operations, compliance, risk, legal, and HR. An internship is all about gaining experience and putting your knowledge to use and making connections. Students often cite that the internship is their favorite part of the program, and its reasons would include because they have got to put their theory into practice, make new connections, and try their hand at working in an area that they've grown to enjoy. So there's a lot of benefits associated with doing an internship. Economics and finance students also have the option to study abroad internationally for 1 semester, and this would take place in the second semester of stage 2, the second semester being the spring semester or mid-January to mid-May. The study abroad opportunities which exist for economics and finance students include the National University of Singapore, the Australian National University in Canberra, and the University of Toronto. A semester abroad will deepen your knowledge of economics and finance in a global context and provide opportunities for you to boost your personal and professional development. Studying abroad is a really exciting opportunity, and we encourage students to consider it carefully. A useful tip to remember is that you'll need to work hard in your first year, as eligibility to study abroad is based on achieving a minimum overall grade, which is a GPA of 3.68 for economics and finance students. So it's best to keep an eye on your grades and work hard if you'd like this to be an opportunity open to you. Graduates of the economics and finance program have an excellent record in obtaining challenging and fulfilling roles and are regularly employed by top organizations, both domestically and internationally. Our graduates have pursued roles in analytics, market intelligence, trainee accountancy, management consultancy, data and risk analysis, financial engineering, digital marketing, investment banking, consultancy, trading analysis, project management, tax, management, stockbroking, banking, entrepreneurialism, trading, commodities, sales, investment management, and fund accountancy. Employers would include Accenture, PwC, KPMG, Bank of Ireland, Deloitte, EY, Aeris Capital, Central Bank of Ireland, First Derivatives, AIB, McKinsey & Company, BNP Paribas, Goldman Sachs, Davy, Glanbia, SMBC Aviation Capital, ITG, UBS, Citi, Barclays Capital, Hedge Accounts, Susquehanna International, and Morgan Stanley. The roles and employers I have just listed are based on results from the First Destinations Return Survey, which is a report commissioned annually by Ireland's Higher Education Authority and demonstrates the pathway taken by our graduates who are 12 to 18 months graduated from the Economics and Finance degree programme. The data was compiled by analysing the job titles and employing organisations over a 5-year period from 2017 to 2013. If you'd like to read more about our business graduates and alumni, you can do so on the Quinn School of Business website and in our prospectus. One graduate testimonial is from William McMahon, a 2013 graduate who said, "Through a focused degree path, I was provided an ideal platform from which to pursue a career among leading international financial institutions. The experiences I enjoyed over my time at UCD have prepared me well for my current role within the M&A department at JP Morgan Cazenove." So to summarise, Economics and Finance is a 3-year degree programme, or can extend to 4 years with the inclusion of the internship year. It provides graduates with an impressive skill set in financial and economic modelling, maths and market understanding, and allows students to self-select an area of specialty as they reach the final year of their studies. Students can opt to enhance their degree by taking a semester abroad or an internship. The ideal student for this program is a student who has an interest in social economic issues and what goes on in the global economic and financial domain, and is looking forward to addressing those problems and contributing to a solution using quantitative methods and an analytical approach. So that brings me to the close of the formal presentation and the overview of our economics and finance program. If you have any questions, I can address them towards the end of the session, or if you'd like to take a note of my email address on the screen, I'd be happy to hear from you at another time. You can also keep up to date with news and events via our social media channels. You can search Quinn School UCD on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. For now, I am joined by Clodagh Nash, who is a Stage 3 Economics and Finance student, and who has very kindly given up her time to join us on this session. Clodagh is currently completing her internship in the finance department of Concern Worldwide, and she's going to talk a little bit about the student experience here at UCD. So thank you for joining us, Clodagh. Over to you.
No, well, hi everybody. So my name is Clodagh Nash. I am currently in my 3rd year of the Economics and Finance degree here in UCD, and I am from Scariff in County Clare, but obviously moved up to Dublin to attend and be part of the course. So I suppose what sparked an interest in the course for me would have been the mathematical element to it, and obviously its broad nature as well. You get to study maths, finance and economics, specialising in your final year, as Tara has mentioned. I think this is nice. It gives you a lot of scope career-wise, and also means that you don't have to make any rush decisions straight after you come out of your Leaving Cert year. You have a time to get a feel for what those subjects are like at a 3rd level in college, and also see which career path you might take in the long run. So when I was doing my own CA up, I was sort of chopping and changing between different courses, but economics and finance would always have remained my number one. I think this is because I was studying accountancy and economics in school, and I obviously had a keen interest in mathematics as well. 2 of my brother's friends had completed the course, and from talking to them, there had been very good employment opportunities after the course. The transition up to UCD from County Clare might seem a little bit scary, but it was actually quite easy. UCD seems like a big and scary spot at the beginning, but after your orientation week, you get to know a lot of people around campus, and in the end, it's just like one main street. You can't seem to walk down it without meeting somebody that you know for a chat. But no, it was a really, really friendly place. There's a lot of sports clubs and societies that you can join, and through these, I suppose if you're proactive, you will make friends very easily. There again in the course, as Tara mentioned, it's quite nice. It's a smaller number than commerce or business and law, and that there are only 60 of you on the course, which means it's big enough in that there's a large variety of people that you can get to know and mix with, but at the same time you know everybody pretty much straight off. So as well as that, the Belfield campus here, there's a lot of on-campus accommodation, and I suppose I lived on campus for 1st year in the Chocnagoilga, the Irish house, and that made making friends a lot easier, and also getting up for lectures and the like in the morning was only a short walk over, so I found that really beneficial. As for the Quinn School, there's super facilities here. Tara mentioned the Bloomberg terminal, which is a massive asset, I think, to the business school here in UCD. So one thing that an awful lot of people don't know about before they come is that UCD actually gives free courses in the Bloomberg terminal. So you can log on, set up your own login, and you can log in whenever you have a free class or in your own spare time and complete the course. If you're to do this outside of college, I think it costs a couple of €100, but because you're a UCD Quinn student, you get it for free. It teaches you how to use the Bloomberg terminals and how to get the most out of them, which is really beneficial then when you're looking to complete college projects. So for example, last year when we were in 2nd year, we completed a corporate finance project in teams of 4, and we could pick a company of our choice to analyse. their previous, so their financials from the past, and also their future prospects. So where they might have mergers and acquisitions in the future, and whether we would be likely to invest in them or not. So the Bloomberg terminal was really, really beneficial in that sense, in that just typed in the company name and it gave you all of their financial reports from since they were incorporated, and also show different mergers and acquisitions in their past and their current share price or stock price if they had one. So that's one thing that I suppose, got an awful lot of benefit out from being here in UCD, and I think that they're actually the only business school in Ireland to have a Bloomberg terminal. As well as that, as Tara mentioned, that we're actually getting an extension currently, which is going to be linking up with the law school, so that'll be more space again. The lectures and the tutorials, generally, a fair amount of them are in Quinn, but given the fact that you might be mixing in with different courses, you might need a larger, I suppose, lecture space. We end up having some lectures in the Newman, so the arts building, particularly if they're economics lectures, and then perhaps some of the more mathsy lectures might take place in the science building or the ag science building as well. We would use quite a lot. I think that's a good thing. It kind of gets you moving throughout the day rather than sitting down. And also, if you have friends doing different courses, you tend to meet them in the other buildings and that sort of thing. So you're not limited to just being friends with people who do business. The kind of subjects that I'm studying so far, we do everything from advanced calculus, which can be quite theoretical at times, to tax and society, so looking at the current tax affairs both in Ireland and internationally. Then you can also pick, as Tara said, your elective modules. So you have 2 elective modules in each year. In the elective modules, you will have the opportunity to either do in-program electives, so something that is related to business, or also the horizon electives. So you can do something completely wacky if you like. You can do languages, or you could do intro to massage, or whatever takes your fancy. So if you have, I suppose, a keen interest area, maybe from school or elsewhere, that you're not going to study while you're studying economics and finance, that is a very good area for you to look into. For myself personally, I really like languages in school as well, and that, I suppose, might have been the only downside for me, was not specifically keeping on my language, but I found through the elective modules that it has been possible to keep it up. And also, if you complete 3 electives in any one language, then at graduation you'll get a certificate in that language along with your diploma and your main degree, which would entitle you to teach that subject to junior cert level in the future. So job prospects at the minute, and I suppose the future streams, I'm not fully sure which stream I'm going to pick next year. I have one friend studying the finance stream and another friend studying the maths and statistics stream. So I suppose I'm sort of waiting on them to give me a bit of feedback. But at the minute, I would say it's likely that I will go down the maths and statistics stream, just because it's most relevant to my current internship and what I would like to go into down the line. As Tara mentioned, I'm currently the Business and Society Scholarship winner here in Quinn. This means that I am completing my internship, which is 9 months, with a charity organisation of my choice, and I chose Concern Worldwide. Quinn have very kindly sponsored this bursary, which means that the charity, you're getting, I suppose, a student from the Quinn School of Business to work for free for 9 months, but you're also not left out of pocket rather than taking a corporate offer. So this has been hugely beneficial to me. I have really enjoyed it so far. It started in September and I'm there until May. I am working in their finance department. Due to the nature of their work, I have been involved in everything from audit to tax, compiling VAT returns, setting up a registered company, but also looking at budgets for their programs. And I recently had a budget approved with the EU. By taking, I suppose, the road less taken, it's opened up some great opportunities for me. I may not have got this level of responsibility elsewhere. And I'm really grateful for the fact that it's a 9-month internship rather than just 1 semester, because I feel now, as we're coming to the end of the first semester, that I'm only really getting settled. So it's nice to know that I'll be back after Christmas and so going at it again and learning more day after day. So I suppose I'm trying to think of anything else. Social life in UCD is very good. There's a lot of different clubs and societies, as I mentioned, and they generally organise nights out and If you're not looking into both, they also organise social events here on campus as well. So I think that's particularly beneficial if you are commuting to college, and if you're not living on campus, it's nice to have something to do during the day. So they organise everything from tea events to rugby sevens to quizzes, and then obviously nights out and different maybe mystery tours and the like. So there's always somewhere to go on a night out here in UCD if that's what you're looking for. We have fantastic facilities here. Once you're a student in UCD, you get free access to the gym and the pool and the sports centre, which I think is massively beneficial, rather than in some other colleges you have to pay a gym membership per year, whereas it's all included.
Loaded information, so I'd say that might have maybe answered some of your questions that you might have been thinking of or thinking of asking us. If you do have any questions, if you want to type them in the chat box now. I think we already have a couple of questions, so I'm just going to access those and I suppose see what other people are asking. Okay, so one of the questions is, what are the main differences between the economics and finance course and the commerce course? Okay, so broadly speaking from the start, the commerce program would be a much broader program in the study of business and would cover, as you begin in first year, all of the foundations of the study of business, including accountancy, maths, business and law, business and society. And then as you go through your second and final years, would become much more applied in nature in terms of the 6 business pillars or the core pillars of study that we'd offer here in UCD. So those 6 pillars would include banking and finance, marketing, human resource management, accountancy, and management information systems. So the content of what you would study on the commerce program would differ in nature from what you would study on the economics and finance program, which would be much more focused on maths and statistics and on finance and on economics. So I suppose the core of modules of which you will study will be different. Okay, in terms of the entry criteria, again, from Leaving Cert, you're going to study the same or have to produce or present with the same Leaving Cert subjects in terms of English, Irish, maths, and a third language. The maths grade or the necessary grade is different. For economics and finance, you must have a H4. For commerce, you can present with either an O2 or a H6. The points, obviously, between the 2 programs differ as well, with that of the economics and finance program being higher than the entry points for the commerce program. Another thing, if you are thinking about you're trying to compare the 2 courses, one thing I always encourage students to do is to go onto the course page on the MyUCD website and to maybe set up the 2 pages side by side, read the information and compare them carefully, and especially the modules that you'll undertake. You can see quite detailed information on the modules on the MyUCD website. So this is a really valuable tool in comparing those 2 programs. Okay, so I hope that's answered that question. So we have a few more questions coming in. Okay, so I'm going to hand this one over to you, Clodagh. Is the maths extremely difficult on the program as a student who's studying currently?
I'd say it's not extremely difficult. I suppose for myself personally, I find it quite enjoyable. There are times when obviously it is challenging, and we're very lucky here that we actually have a math support centre in college. So if there is something you are struggling with, you can go to them, and there are tutors there, generally PhD students or actual lecturers, who will be happy to help you out and go over things. And that's open, I think, from 8 o'clock in the morning until 9 at night. So you can pop in anytime you're free. But for the most part, no, I would say it's a high level of mathematics, but not extremely difficult. You're working hard, you're never bored, but it's always attainable.
And yeah, I suppose as well, if you are achieving that H4 in Leaving Cert, if you're enjoying maths as part of your Leaving Cert, you're obviously a bright student. So I would say that with hard work and by applying yourself when you're at university, you'll be able to get through it. And if you need to access the supports here at the university, they're available to you as well. So a couple more questions. We have two similar ones here. One person is asking, do you have to study economics for the Leaving Cert? And someone else has asked, would studying business and accounting for the Leaving Cert be beneficial for the economics and finance course? So by studying a business subject at Leaving Cert, it is going to be beneficial for you coming into the program, because it means that you have already encountered the formal study of the theories and behind those subjects already. That said, it isn't an official entry criteria coming onto the program. Remember, the subjects that we require you to have at Leaving Cert are maths, English, Irish, and a third language. So we do sometimes have students coming onto our business programs that have not selected a business subject at Leaving Cert. Clodagh, for you, you studied economics at Leaving Cert.
Yeah.
How beneficial did you find that, or was there any students on your program who hadn't studied a business subject?
So for the majority of students on the program, I would say they had studied one out of maybe the three business subjects, so one of business, accounting, or economics. I don't think there's actually anybody in the course that studied all three, just due to the limitation of subjects that you can study for your Leaving Cert. Personally, I studied economics and accounting. I quite enjoyed them when I was in school, and from that aspect, I suppose I gave them that bit more time, and so it was beneficial when I came to college to already have some little bit of prior knowledge. But I have a lot of friends on the course who would never have studied accounting or economics, or at times business as well, and have found it quite manageable. Maybe a little bit of extra work in first year in the initial accounting module can go an awful long way. But here you have lectures and you also have tutorials, which are small kind of class sessions. There'd be max maybe 20 in a tutorial rather than 300 in your lecture, and that gives you the chance to ask questions or go through any problems. In the economics and finance degree so far, for stages 1 and 2, so first and second year, the majority of the tutorials are correcting or going through homework. So if there is somewhere that you went wrong or you have a query, then it's very much a hands up, just like your secondary school class. Ask a question, and maybe in the first week or two, people are a little bit shy and don't really want to put their hand up, but after a while, it's very open and welcoming to discussion.
Great. Okay. Keep the questions coming in if you have any more. We're happy to stay and answer them for as long as you have them. So another question which has just come in to us, how long would a typical day be in the course? So this is a question we're asked very often, but I suppose there is no typical day in our business programs. In first year, we would say that your hours per week would be between 18 to 22. And then it can, I suppose, your hours or your days in the week can alter depending on the electives that you choose, and then also maybe in your final year depending on your stream, because there may be different hours associated with different modules. But for you, Clodagh, is there a typical day or a typical length of a day when you combine your lectures and tutorials with independent study, or do you find different days are different?
So I think it ranges from semester to semester, but for the bulk of it, as Tara said, it's about 18 to 24 hours max in the week. That can be spread out. You might have 6 hours of a Monday and only maybe 2 then of a Tuesday, which gives you an awful lot of free time for your own independent study, or perhaps get projects done, or even to get involved in clubs and societies. But I would say that the workload isn't horrifically heavy or anything like that. It's a nice enough number of hours that I suppose you're turning up to class enough to meet other people in the class, and you're spending enough time with them in the day that you, I suppose, get to know them very well. But on the flip side, you aren't bogged down. It's not a 40-hour week or anything like that. That changes a little bit then if you do decide to do, obviously, the internship year, because you're going to be working for a company or an organization, and they will have set office hours and quite strict routines in that sense, where you have to go in Monday to Friday for the same amount of time. But college does have a little bit of fluctuation that way. You'll see with a lot of the different courses, they might be, your course hours might be spread over 4 days a week with 1 day off, or sometimes over 5 days a week. But generally, if it is 5 days a week, then 1 or 2 of those days will have a few hours, so maybe max 2 or 3.
Great, thanks, Clodagh. Just checking, let's see if we have any more questions. If you have anything more, just feel free to type it in the chat box. One question I had for you, Clodagh, was you've mentioned that you were in Teach
Yeah.
So do you want to tell us a little bit about that? And that's the Irish Language Scholarship or Board na Gaeilge here in UCD. So what was that experience like, or how did you apply for that or go about that?
Yeah, so the Teach na Gaeilge applications come out the end of February, beginning of March. If you want to log on to www.ucdboardnagaeilge.ie, you'll find their applications there. They generally come out and you have about 2 weeks to fill it in. You send in the application form, it's about 2 A4 pages. And if you're lucky enough, then you might get called for interview. Then if you get called for interview, it's quite informal, maybe 20 minutes just discussing what you'd like to do in college, your interests and hobbies, and also how you would get involved in, I suppose, the scene of Irish here on campus in UCD. Should you be lucky enough to get offered a place on the scholarship, then you will be guaranteed on-campus accommodation for the year that you get the scholarship. So that might be in first year, or you can also apply for it when you're in second, third, fourth year, etc. With that, you will also get a bursary from the UCD Board na Gaeilge, and that comes in installments each month. I suppose there's no money that comes without a little bit of work, and so for your scholarship, what they would like you to do is to organise 2 events on campus during the year. So generally one in semester 1 and one in semester 2. These can range from anything at all. So perhaps something in the business school, if that's where you're doing your course, to for myself personally, I organised a handball competition. GAA handball is a sport I play. Would be heavily involved in. So I organised a handball competition through Irish in the second semester. The events are not set out to be entirely for fluent Irish speakers, and in that regard, I'd advise anybody who is looking to come to UCD to get involved in any of the events. They're for complete beginners, so international students up to obviously Caint or Lífa, so people who are fluent in the language, and generally it's a mix of English and Irish, just so that everybody can follow. But yeah, it was really enjoyable. So there's 24 places on the scholarship. Everybody stays in the one house, so 6 apartments of 4. It's house 7 in Merville, which is here on UCD campus. And unlike some of the other campus accommodation, you get to know people in the apartments across from you, below you, above you, rather than just getting to know the people in your own apartment. So that was quite nice, and I suppose it was like an automatic friend group, and we all had something in common straight away from the day we landed in UCD. So yeah, definitely I would apply, and I'd advise anybody who is looking to, I suppose, get involved in the Irish scene here on campus to contact Board na Gaeilge just to stay up to date with their application and so on.
Yeah, and there's lots of other scholarships here and awards available at UCD as well, like I'd mentioned during the presentation. So it's well worth looking into if you are into sport, into performing arts, fluent in Irish, or if you're an international student, there are international only scholarships as well. So it's well worth looking into. A few more questions have come in. One question, why is there such a large difference in the points requirement for the economics degree compared with the economics and finance degree? Okay, so the points system for university works on a supply and demand basis. So that is how many places are available on a program versus the demand for those places. So with the economics and finance program, it is a relatively small class size at 60. With the economics degree in UCD, that degree is offered as part of the College of Social Sciences, and there are more places available on that program. So I suppose the reason that there is a difference in the points is that there is maybe more demand for less spaces on our program versus, you know, the economics program being a much larger class size. If you are interested in the economics program, or again comparing the two, I would advise you to check them both out on the MyUCD website. Check the similarities and differences to be able to make an informed decision and see which program suits you better. And as I say, the economics program is offered by the College of Social Sciences, so if you'd like to contact them directly, they'll be able to give you much more detailed information on that program. So another question, Are the international employment opportunities associated with this course vast? Okay, so basically, are our graduates going abroad for their employment? Yes, they are. I don't have the exact statistics here of how many each year go abroad, but our students typically will be employed in Ireland, the UK, the US, and mainland Europe. Some may go further than that, but that is, say, the four main destinations off the top of my head that I would know of. For the internship, are you in one department, for example, finance, or can you experience different departments? So it's a question for you, Clodagh. So are you just in the finance department, or maybe what this person means is, what are the different, are you seeing, I suppose, how to work in other areas in your internship?
Yeah, so I think that depends on what internship you end up going for. So for the most part with the corporate internships, I possibly didn't mention this, but I think is it maybe 54 different companies advertised jobs last year to the UCD Commerce and also the UCD Economics and Finance students. And with that, within the business school here, you were allowed to apply to 5 of those job applications, and they were quite specific in what role you would be completing throughout the year. However, for myself personally, I'm on the obviously Business and Society Scholarship, and with that, you pick a charity of your choice, and you also do up a job description with them. So there's an awful lot of autonomy there. This meant that when I was doing up my own job description, we based it around 80% of the work would be completed with the finance department, but also 20% of the work throughout the year could be put towards any opportunities that may arise. So not necessarily in finance, perhaps in operations, logistics, marketing, fundraising, communications, etc. So other areas within the charity. But you may not have this, I suppose, autonomy if you do decide to go with one of the corporate placements. They generally have a fairly set job description set out. So I suppose that is one beneficial aspect of the Business and Society Scholarship, which you may not necessarily have with corporate placement.
Yeah, and we're going to take one final question now, just I suppose to wrap it up within the time that we promised you. How do you apply to the internships? Well, the internships are university supported, so that means there's a team of staff here that are working with students and the organizations in order to line those internships up. Your internship would take place after your second year and before your final year, so it would really be your third year of studies. During your second year, the employers will visit UCD and there'll be an internships fair where students can meet with the employers and find out about the types of internships that they're offering. After that stage then, students will be able to apply for a maximum of 5 internships. Okay, they do this through the UCD website, and after that stage then, the companies will invite them to interview, and at that stage, companies will make a decision who they would like to offer the internships to. Typically, students will know by April of their second year whether they've been offered a placement, and depending on whether their placement is a 12 months or a 9-month placement, they could be starting that placement in June or in the following September. So Clodagh mentioned that she is doing her placement from September to June, so it's more in the 9-month realm. So you'll learn much more about internships in second year, and you can start making that decision then about whether you would like to include one in your degree at that stage. Okay, so I think we will wrap it up at that. Thank you so much for joining us for this webinar session and for all your questions. I hope that you have learned a lot from the session and can take away that information and I suppose make your decision on whether this is a program for you. I'd like again to thank Clodagh for joining us for the session and for taking the time out of her schedule to travel out to UCD and join us and share her thoughts and experience to date at UCD. So once again, thank you very much for joining us. I hope you found the session very useful, and it's over and out from us.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.